volunteer and activities coordinator for the Actors Fund. And the Actors Fund is a human service organization that provides support and services to everyone in the performing arts and entertainment industry, in front of the camera, on stage, backstage, behind the camera, in all aspects of those fields in times of crisis and transition. And I currently have a program here at the Friedman Residence called Tuesdays at 2. And Tuesdays at 2 is a terrific program where professionals 65 and older got together. Initially, it was concepted as sort of a coffee clatch where people could meet, talk about what was going on, and it's really become a laboratory where we talk about work that people are interested in doing, different ideas for projects. People bring work in all the time, and plays to read, monologues, just all kinds of stuff, and they can get positive, supportive feedback and help with their projects. We also go and do cultural activities and explore the city and do all of the kind of fun things the city has to offer all together, which is really great. I love Tuesdays at 2. It's the best part of my week, and I love to see what people bring in and bring to the meetings. It's great to see people come in and talk. You know, I've heard folks say, I love to come to the meetings because people listen to me, which I think is a big issue as we age and get older. We might feel like nobody's paying attention, nobody's seeing us. And I think it's important to be seen and heard. We all deserve that. And also in the group, because of the creative aspect that everybody brings to the group, it gives people a space to exercise that muscle. You know, they've been an actor or a dancer or a costume designer, an usher, and they get a chance to really talk about and explore what they love.
Today we're talking about gratitude with our Tuesdays at 2 group, and as an art therapist, there are some things that I'd like to share with you about the benefits of gratitude.
Good news, you're what I've waited for. I wasn't slated for blues. But a few weeks ago we had a meeting of our seniors at the Actors Fund group, and everybody talked about all the bad things that were going on in the world. Nobody said anything pleasant at all. And I finally said, well, one of these meetings we all have to bring in something happy. And so today's the day. Anyway, there's bad news and there's good news. On my way to the Actors Fund last couple of weeks ago, I got off my bike, took off my helmet, grabbed my bag, turned to go into the entrance, and fell flat on my face. Really, and two gentlemen helped me up, and I said, I've got to get to the 10th floor because I have an interview for the archival project, and it's very important. And he said, no, I work for the Actors Fund, and I'm taking you up to 12. I said, I've got to go to 10. He said, you're bleeding from your forehead. And he asked the lady who passing by if she had a Kleenex, which she did. And so they took me up to 10, patched me up, and then TRACI came and got me down to my interview. So the happy news is I got accepted into the archival program. Yay! So happy news.
I was on my way back home from a trip to Massachusetts. It was a Sunday evening at about 11:30, and I was on the 104 bus. I had a valise, a tote bag, and my handbag. When I came to my stop, which was West 69th Street, I got off the bus, but I failed to take my handbag with me. I was walking up West 70th Street, and suddenly I heard someone yelling, "Lady, you forgot your pocketbook!" And a woman came running after me. She had gotten off the bus to follow me. All I could think of is, if that had been me at 11:30 at night on a Sunday on a bus, I don't know if I would have gotten off. I would have probably given the bag to the bus driver and said, "Someone left this here. Please take it to Lost and Found and contact her." So I was very thankful that this woman saw that I would have been in trouble if I didn't have my bag, and she followed me up 70th Street.
Hi, I'm Carol Hollenbeck, and I'm so glad to be a guest on this lovely, lovely upcoming Thanksgiving show, or whatever thanks we're giving for. Yes, I'm very thankful to be here. I'm thankful to be here. I mean, I feel like I've been around a long time. I won't say how long. And the fact that I'm still walking, talking, and looking halfway decent is a blessing, I must say. Although yesterday I was a little verklempt, or whatever they say. But today I'm feeling pretty good. And I'm here to be very grateful about everything that I have. My body, my legs, my mind, the fact that I walk everywhere, I exercise a lot, the fact that I have a lot of good friends, I have a lot of social activities. I keep myself moving and grooving, baby. Moving and grooving. Dun, 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 dun. And also, I do have to work on a few things that people don't mind hearing. I gotta work on some type of resentments and envy of people. Sometimes I have that, but I figure like we're all human and we cannot be, we're a work in progress. So I'm just working it. I'm working it the best I can. And there's some days that I resent a lot of people, but I realize that's the poison that I drink while somebody else doesn't even know about it. I'm waiting for somebody else to die and I'm drinking the poison. So I turn around and I give that over to the higher power, or to God, or whatever we call, or whatever we feel is our higher power. And then I can move on in my life slowly and as fast as I can, and keep my thanks and be grateful, live in gratitude as much as I possibly can. And I do have a lot to be gratitude about. I have a nice place. I have a nice place to live. As I said, I do a lot of exercising, and I have a lot of big interests. I have a lot of interests. I'm a playwright. I have a book out called True Blondes on Amazon. I have a play that has been going around doing things with, readings there and this and that. And I have a lot of upcoming things, excuse me, that I'm doing. So, the thing is to keep active. And if you have one dream that kind of fell apart, the thing is to put together again another dream that you can latch onto and really work at trying to make that come true. And that's what I'm doing now, because I was an actress and now I'm a writer, and I'm really getting my stuff out there. So I want to thank you for having me on this very grateful show that I'm very grateful to be on. And Carmen is a wonderful person. Thank you. And the Actors Fund is terrific. TRACI, everybody is just great. And I really appreciate and I'm grateful for all of you. Thank you.
Well, I'm just here to tell you I'm grateful to be alive. I had a lot of close calls when I was a younger person, and I thought I was going to die. And all my friends used to tell me, "Oh, you're going to die young and beautiful." Well, it's too late to die young now. Maybe I could still be beautiful anyway. First thing I remember is sticking a bobby pin in an electric outlet, and I thought I was being electrocuted. I remember screaming, and my daddy ran into the room and yanked me away, probably got a shock himself. And another thing that really stands out is when I was in college and I had this cute red car, a little red Barracuda with white leather seats. Well, I was driving all my friends back home from school on the New York State Thruway one day, and it was a rainy day, and the trucks were going in and out and in and out, playing footsie with us. Well, all of a sudden, this one truck comes in, cuts right in front of my fender, and we were going way too fast for me to stop, and I thought, oh my God, we're gonna die. And I thought we were going under the cab of the truck, and I thought, okay, we're gonna be all decapitated like Jane Mansfield was. And then all of a sudden, it was as if a superpower reached down, took the car, lifted it up, and put it over in a ditch on the side of the road. And my friends all said, oh, you did wonderfully. And I thought, no, it wasn't really me. That God, or whatever you want to call it, the superpower intervened, and I wasn't meant to die. Now, I haven't done all the work that I'm meaning to do yet, but I think I was left here to live a long life and hopefully do some good. So I am so grateful to be alive.
Well, I can only say that I am grateful to be not just alive, but in one piece and functioning properly mentally. Because the things that's happened to me in my life, it's a wonder that I'm quite able to move and do this all these years later. Because when I was 12, a car crashed into my head. I was supposed to be dead, but obviously I lived 3 days in a coma. Doctors said it was a miracle I came out of it. But that I should not play any athlete sports or nothing. What did I do? I became a boxer, which is the worst thing. Through a series of amateur fights, a few pro fights, many more rounds in the gym, was never knocked out off my feet, and I can still talk and remember my name. So, and then I had bouts with drugs and whatnot in the streets in my younger years. I went through quite a traumatic kind of situation in my life, and yet I kept my mother 73 years. She passed at 92 when I was 73. So after all that, I guess I am fortunate. I can see the glasses, or I should look at it as half full as opposed to half empty. And look at the fact that I'm still quite able and quite capable, especially to be a senior citizen. Thank you, I am grateful.
When I heard that they were doing this about gratitude, I said, can I participate? And the reason is because in my lifetime, I've had so much to be thankful for. I had a mother who was a widow and took very good care of me and saw to it that I could go to dance class, and I became a member of the Lester Horton Dancers and became another sister to Carmen de Lavalade. And on and on and on. Wonderful husband, a son that's just divine, and a good career. And then time passes, and I'm old. Now I'm 81 years old. And so I'm not working. I'm doing a lot of other things. But I can't afford to live anyplace because the rents are so high. And somebody tells me about the Freedmen. And my sonny boy fills out paperwork because Mama don't know how to do that. And here I am. 57th Street and 10th Avenue in Manhattan. And I feel like $1 million, even though I don't have $1 million. And thank you for everything.
My name is Frances Eldred. When this project was first suggested, I had just had a birthday, and one of the things for which I was exceedingly grateful was the fact that at long last, my daughter has learned to cook beautifully, and she prepared a feast, which was a big surprise. I knew it was going to be a celebratory meal, but I didn't realize that it was going to come from her kitchen. And it was surf and turf. It was scallops and then lobster tails for my benefit and steak for the men in the party. So that made me extremely grateful, and apart from that, my overall existence, I'm grateful to the Actors Fund for keeping me going after years when I thought I have found so many of my friends have departed this existence, and I'm still here.
My name is Mary Rocco, and I'm here to talk about things that I'm grateful about. Well, one of the things is that I've had a few falls, and one day I fell down a whole flight of subway steps. Now, the steps happened to be covered with rubber, and when I landed on the bottom, people, offered to help me, and I said, I'm just going to rest for a while, and then I'll get up. So I got up, and I saw these people on the platform, and they said, "My God, are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I don't know what happened. I really didn't hurt myself. I just felt a little pain." So I'm awfully grateful that I guess I relaxed with the fall down the whole flight of steps and decided to go on living. So that's number one. Number two is currently I'm in a little tap dance review. Now, I studied tap when I was around 35, 40 years old, and I haven't done it since. And I've had 2 knee replacements, so I'm not that steady on my legs. But when I heard tap dance, I said, why not? I'm a senior. What are they going to expect from me? So I had a pair of taps put on my everyday shoes, and I'm tapping away to some songs. I'm basically a singer. So I'm singing and tapping to the best of my age ability. So I'm very grateful for that, and I'm grateful for myself to say that I was willing to do it. And
Being grateful. About 10 days ago, on a Sunday, I experienced some tightness in my chest, and that was not new. So the next day I went to see my doctor, and he said, let's try a stress test. And he turns that off in 2.5 minutes, ran out the door. The nurse stayed with me. Then he came back and said, I have just called for an ambulance. So we could hear the siren coming and all. And as you know, the fire department comes first. And then we assured them everything was under control. And then the ambulance came with the siren. But going back to the hospital, the siren did not turn on because it was not a major event. But when I got to the hospital, it was several people came to see me simultaneously. They asked me questions, and one of them said to the other, I think we should do it. Yeah, I think we should go for it. So I think within the hour I was taken in, and a stent was put in over my heart, and one was scheduled for the next day, and then later for the following week. And but when I came to after the procedure, this a man was speaking to a group of people, and he said, "This is a very brave man," and he wiped little droplets of blood on my leg and so on. And then he went away, and a young woman came to me, and she said, the people who usually do that little bit of cleaning are, I think she said, nurses' aides, something like that. And that man is the head of the cardiology in this hospital. And so I felt really tearfully grateful that I had the support of this person I had never met and who was imposing and authoritative and very sympathetic. I could go on a long time, but I suppose I stopped there.
I am very grateful for, I'm going to sound a little strange, I guess, but for this group, the Center Stage group, very much so. I was looking for people to be around people my own age who weren't necessarily always talking about their what they were eating for the day and what was going into their system and what was coming out of their system later on. So I was very fortunate to find this group, which incredibly energetic, fun-filled people, and we were always doing new projects and making new friends. Carmen, a very close new friend of mine. And I just recently came back from my hometown in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and reconnected with friends there that I hadn't seen, friends and family that I hadn't seen for a while. So I think it's a people thing, reconnecting with people, finding new people, and feeling good about those relationships.
Deirdre Channing. I'm so grateful just for being here, being in life, being allowed to have so many choices. It's an extraordinary experience, and being given more years to learn, to have grown this old, you lose so many friends, and you realize how fortunate you are to be able to still be here. And that's mainly how I feel.
I'm Lumiere, and I am all my life really working hard on being very grateful, and that has brought me a lot of things in my life in the midst of chaos. And also in 2002, I renamed myself Lumiere, which means light in French. So I try to exude a lot of light as I go through life, and I noticed that maintaining that level through all the chaos, the good stuff still comes. Recently, the most wonderful thing I'm grateful for is that, well, first I turned 70, and I am so happy because here I still am. And on top of that, who would guess I would fall in love? I met this guy about a month ago, and it was like love at first sight. We were having a conversation, and his eyes, my God, I'm gonna tell you, his eyes just drew me in. It was like, oh, I've got to see this guy again. And we are still going strong. So I want to tell all you ladies, it is still possible at 70. So just stay grateful, be yourself, and you will attract that love, and it'll come into your life, and you know what? It's all good. That's all I'm grateful for, and I'll remain grateful every day so I can stay healthy.
Thanks to the Actors Fund and the folks at the Waldman Foundation, I'm very, very grateful for the work that I get to do here. In a few months, we'll be opening a new center called the Waldman Living Room, named for Honey Waldman, who's our benefactor, and I like to think of our sort of leader in the idea of getting folks together and doing the things that they love, and exploring different aspects of the city life activities with each other and sharing. So that'll be coming up in January. We're going to start to get things rolling up there. I have a wonderful group of folks I work with here at Tuesdays at 2. I'm so grateful for the work that we do in the room. It's just so wonderful. And I'm also very fortunate, I feel, in finding a job like this that sort of marries all my different skills, interests, and passions. So as a career changer and somebody who did work behind the scenes, and now as a social worker, I get to put all those things together with like-minded folks who are really interested in our community here and keeping people engaged and active. It's pretty wonderful. So I'm very, very fortunate and grateful for that. We're in that time of the year and that season where you start to think about those things. It's November, we have Thanksgiving coming up and the December holidays, and you really start to reflect. And when I reflect, I think about how lucky I am to get to live near family and friends in the city I grew up in and that I love so much, and share that with a wonderful group of program participants and my friends at the fund and the people that I work with, who all have this mission of supporting the folks who have given us here in the city a cultural life. You know, they're really at the forefront of that. New York wouldn't be what it is, the cultural center of the world, without the work that these people have done. So paying that back feels really great. That's what I'm really grateful for.
You just watched all of our participants from Tuesdays at 2 expressing their gratitude and reminding everyone what they're grateful for. I just want to thank everyone who participated and everybody who's been watching. And I encourage you all to spend some time thinking about what you're grateful for. What relationships are you grateful for? What opportunities are you grateful for? How have people in your life changed your life? How are you grateful for them? And I encourage you to tell them and let them know, because hearing that can change their day and change the way that they think about your relationships. So take care and have a good one.
Hello, this is Carmen G. I want to thank the Actors Fund, my buddies at Center Stage at 2, M and N. I want to thank you, but mostly I want to thank God.